Şimdi canlı yayını aç. And we're live. Hello, it's been a while. I know all 7 of you missed your favorite parasocial internet personality. How are you, everybody? Hello from Lord Grunwalder. I had some weird problems, basically stating that I can't live stream, but I think that problem is gone now. Hello, Daddy Cosman, says Clem James. Hello, Blake Richardson. Hello, Astromangos. Hello, Laxaterna. Hello, Delesso. Hello, Blake Richardson. Hello to each and every one of you. Louis J says, thanks for the commission. Man, the pleasure is mine. Always. As you know, if you're listening on the replay, I do take commissions and I can draw any creature or character you like, provided it's not gore or smut. And don't ask me why or how. I know it when I see it. And yeah, I'm always busy on something. Ukoli says, good evening from Russia. KS says, hi. I've been busy, everybody. I have been involved with an art exhibit, actually. And in that exhibit, I have been painting live. That is to say, I have a studio inside a gallery where I just paint half of the day. People can come in, see what I'm doing, talk to me, and just look at my paintings. And it's actually really great. I met a lot of local art enthusiasts that way and even got to sell a few pieces. So that's nice. And I do have some pictures to share from that event. Just look at these things. Here's one from the other day, another. I developed this technique where I can use acrylics like watercolors, and they just look very smoky and nice. And the secret is to have one of these bad boys, which is not a drug, it's just water in a boom, you got sprayed. I came and sprayed water on the screen. Yes, it's very nice. So this keeps the paper wet, and then you can just paint on it, and then it gets this watercolor type texture, which I like. Okay. The blending is immaculate. Yeah, let's correct this. Okay. 13 people watching, and I haven't been streaming in almost 2 months, so thank you. Mikin says, hey. Caden Slinker says, ha. Ukoli says, good evening from Russia. Good evening. Hope you're all doing well. Aside from that live painting experience, I'm also really busy in my daily life, but I'm keeping my fingers crossed that this busy time will come to an end soon and I will be able to stream and do YouTube stuff as often as I used to. Really look forward to it. Also looking forward to your Buy Me a Coffee donations, your merch store purchases, or your Patreon donations. These latest paintings I've just showed you, there's 10 times more on my Patreon channel. So even if you subscribe for $1 per month, you get to see them. And I get to get some compensation, which is a win-win deal. So Patreon, buy me a coffee, merch store, go get it. Yes, Ahmet Yes says hello. Louis J says, catching a CM Cosman live stream is like finding a rare bug never before studied by science. Well, thank you. So, what should we talk about in this lovely night? Why don't you get settled in? Go to your Discord where it's not banned, because where I live, Discord has been banned. The government is keeping an eye out for the mindfulness and screen time of its citizens. Couple of months ago, they did ban actually Instagram for 2 weeks. And now it's Discord's turn. And I never used Discord in any capacity. So I'm immune. I don't feel the pain. But I will tell you that the government of this nice place that I live always has a deal with media and power. I'm so old that I remember when private television first came out, and for a first couple of years, it was purely unregulated. You had uncensored music videos and basically foreign entertainment. You had MTV Live, and then they formed a state board for television regulation, and that got censored pretty quick. Decades later, the internet was, of course, a big deal, and actually, for a couple of years, the internet was like the Wild West. You could say anything about anyone. Nobody cared. Then there were some legal regulations. I remember they shut down YouTube for a couple of years in the early 2000s. And for me, it was like a nightmare, like a kind of nightmare many young Turkish people might be feeling now with Discord being banned and everything. But that's always the situation in this part of the world. Private enterprise runs one step, you get maybe 5 years of clear thinking time. Then the state and the power apparatus catches up with it. Then there's a new innovation. Then they come there too. There's another. They come there too, and ad infinitum. It's nothing personal. It's just part and parcel of living in this part of the world. Ahmet Ye says, now they are talking about censoring YouTube in Turkey. Well, yeah, I mean, look, popular YouTubers get more views than many media channels. And who is watching real television these days? Only boomers. After that, it will change. Clam James says, it is very odd that they ban Discord. I thought it's mainly for communicating with friends. Well, to complicate things further, a bunch of sickos were using Discord to torture animals, basically dox women to their conservative parents, and every evil act under the sun, to such a degree that it led to a very grisly murder recently. And that was the excuse the powers that be were waiting for. The killer actually decapitated somebody on a live stream, and it's just so ugly. I don't even want to talk about it. But yeah, and then it was boom, go time. And they came down on it like a ton of bricks. Discord is notorious for underground rings, especially in the States. Yeah, look. And here's someone from the United States wishing it got banned there. So yeah, there's different ways of looking at this. Ow. Just look at this. I have a splinter in this thing for over a month now. I keep squeezing and squeezing it, but all I get is I only get to milk out iCore. Let's do some live streaming now. Hope this doesn't get this channel banned, but you see this splinter here? Let's try to get that out of here. Let's give it a nice squeeze. Hop. Something came out, but I don't know if that's a splinter. This little white filmy bit. Oh, okay, anyways. Welcome to the CM Cosman stream, everybody. Surgery with Dr. Kozman says. Jerry Caleb says, I have Discord, but I never use it. It's as awkward as the 90s chat rooms. Yeah, when I run Discord on my computer, it drains my CPU power. I think they're farming Bitcoin or something in the background. I don't know. It's a very unnecessarily memory intensive app on a computer. So don't worry about it. Fuck Discord. Just enjoy life. Astromango says, I only go to Discord servers for the emojis and the stickers. 23 people watching. Let me check some messages. Let me get some refreshments. And then in the meantime, let's hear out where in the world are you from? Where are you from? Where are you from? Where are you from? I'll be back. Tell me which part of the world you are hailing from, and we'll have a shout out session. I'll be back now. And call all your friends. Yeah. All right. Really nice to see everybody. God, I missed streaming. Hello again. Just fixing something with lights. Okay, much better. All right. Blake Richardson from Michigan, USA. Space Torture just says hello. Kozemen from Spain. Astromangos from Venezuela. Leso JD from Poland. Liet Kynes from Istanbul. BTV 63 from Canada, presently in Turkey. Wow. Everybody's trying to go the other way. You're the only schmuck trying to come in. But welcome, you made the right choice. I don't mean disrespect to Canada, but this is a nicer part of the world. Laksaterna from Lithuania. Jerry Caleb from Georgia, USA. Marching through Georgia. Ahmet Y from Vancouver, Canada. Yeah, so he's one of the guys I went the other way. Look, what a nice community. You got one guy coming from Canada to Turkey. Then you got another friend going to Vancouver from Turkey. Astro Mangos from Valencia. Kotobuki says, hello, beautiful people from an unknown region. Gavin Tidwell from Florida. Louis J says, London calling to the faraway towns. Clam James from Ireland. I guess that's what the Emerald Island means. Absent Fish says, Birchington on the Sea, UK. A town with 3 historic sea serpent sightings. You mark out 3 this way or this way. Gavin Tidwell, I hope the hurricane didn't affect you, says Ahmet Y. And yeah, I need to ask that. Was the hurricane scare overblown, or did it actually do some real damage? Because if you listen to mainstream media, they made it sound like it was going to be like Hurricane Katrina, but 10 times worse. Astromango says, wherever you do, guys, do not go to Venezuela. Louis J says, I studied in Goldsmiths College in London. I think you did too. Yes, that's where I did my MA. Good times. I might still have the ID, actually. Yeah, here's my faded Goldsmiths College ID. What else do I have? I got my other college ID from the States. And I got my Italian permesso di soggiorno from the time I lived and worked there. Storied life. SPAC. Hand you out a deck. Space Torture says, I'd like to make a Minecraft mod based on All Tomorrows. Go for it. As long as you don't make money, or yeah, go for it. Just go for it. It's gonna be fun. You have my permission. What else can I show you? Oh, today, one of your number who calls himself Lord Grunwalder was hanging out with me in Istanbul, and we had a really cozy time. We had coffee and drew and talked about life and speculative evolution. And I got to draw this fictional rendition of a pterosaur as a swimming animal. This was a very unorthodox view championed by one, I think, a professor called Wagler, and he thought pterodactyls were actually monotremes related to echidnas. I actually have a skeletal diagram here. Wait. I'm just trying to look for it. So this was an eccentric scientist in the 1860s who had this pterosaur theory, I could say, and he could not believe these were reptiles, so he classified them as aquatic monotremes with gigantic wings that help them swim. And he actually classified pterosaurs, ichthyosaurs, plesiosaurs, and monotremes under a separate class of vertebrates called Gryphae. I got a video about this, the mysteries of class Gryphae. So I just really like this old skeletal lot, so I just took it. And while I was having coffee with my friend, I just drew this based on it. And if you follow me on Patreon, soon you can see a stage-by-stage post about how this drawing was made. And you can also see a full-scale colored, because I also scan these and screen tone them and fix certain mistakes and, properly finish them up. But yeah, follow me on Patreon to see more of this. Yes. Kotobuki says this is amazing. Omega Seal says you should launch 10 billion asteroids at Mars. What's that going to do? How is that going to help with anything? Space Torture says, I love you, Kozaman. Astromango says, the Eternal Cylinder has some creatures that look like they're straight out of All Tomorrows. Some creatures there have little human parts. I haven't watched it or read it, so I cannot comment. Oğuzhan Okçu says, Selam abi, which means hello brother. Selam abi back. Ne yapıyoruz kanka? Coca-Cola içip dağılayız işte. Hop. Oh. The weird tangents the human mind can go on while trying to classify things is very interesting, says Jerry Caleb. I really agree. I actually want to do the Gryphae video again because, okay, here's what. Normally, I used to record my YouTube videos literally on the fly. I mean, I have a sound recorder and I would go outside on the balcony or just maybe even step out to the street and talk. And then I would just throw the audio file straight, 31 people watching, by the way, great. I would throw the audio file straight into this service called Audio Ship, which just takes a sound file and a cover image and turns that into a video. But of course, when I'm doing that, there's all these kinds of like ahs and ahs and like. I mean, my mind is a sputtering engine. It's a weird thing though, because when I'm talking to people, when I know people are watching or listening, I don't get that. But when I'm recording to myself, I do get that. So that's that. And that was my process basically, because I was dealing with so many things at the same time that I just had to economize on time. Then recently, I developed a new technique where I actually spend a bit more time on audio recordings. But this time I record straight to this free and great audio editing program called Audacity. And well, let me show you actually. It's called Audacity. Let's share. Let's share the tab. So it's just a free editing program. And this has everything you need. So I record on Audacity, and that way I can clear out all the ahs, as, uhs. There's actually a feature there. There's actually a feature there which lets you just clear out silences, and it makes your conversation sound more smooth and free-flowing. And then I do some voice equalizer stuff. Now, those videos, like one I did recently, it got 20,000 views. Whereas normally, most of my videos had like 500, 800 views or something like that. So I know I must be doing something right. The metrics of my YouTube channel are really strange. I have 46,000 subscribers, but an average video gets maybe 1,000 views. So there's that. Bit says, hello Kösemen abi, hope you're doing good. I'm doing great, thank you. Nikolai says, sorry I joined a bit late. How have things been going for you lately? Busy, very busy. It's like the busiest I have been in some chapters of my life recently, but in a good way. And when it clears out, it will be very happy. Off topic, but do you have a very favorite anime or manga, says Ukoli? I get this question a lot. It's a very classic answer. I'm a big fan of Studio Ghibli animations. I'm also a very big fan of Neon Genesis Evangelion. Some others too. Actually, I do have a My Anime List page. Oh, should we do this? Wait. Because it's public. I do have a... Let's share this, okay? And please let me know if you can see this, because sometimes there are problems. So this is my Anime List profile. Wait. Whoa. No, you can't see. Wait, I got another way to solve this then. You can see now. That's great. Okay, so this is Daddy Kozumen's Weeb arc. Especially during COVID, I became an intense anime weaver. But I was a classy guy, no One Punch Man or I even hold the famous Attack on Titan with some contempt. Let's look at some of the animes I liked and watch. I forgot even some of them, but here's a list of the animes I watched. Okay, please confirm you can see this. Just confirm, confirm, confirm in writing before I start scrolling. Okay. Okay, you can all see. Okay, so let's view these. This one is called A Whisker Away. Oh, it's where they change into cats. Okay, not the best one, but still okay. I loved Akira, which, of course, Akira is a classic. I mean, every cell of that animation is a work of art. There's this really weird and nice thing called Angel's Egg, which is a really beautiful, surreal, and fantastically mind bending work of animation art. You should all watch it. Angel's Egg, everybody. Don't make me come over there and put an egg on you. Okay. Then there's this thing called Anohana, the flower we saw that day. Okay, I watched this in the blackest depths of the COVID lockdown. Basically, there's this ghost girl, and this bunch of friends can see her, and they need to obtain closure before she can depart for good. Yeah, not my favorite. But I got this thing where even if there's a little hope, I watch it until the end. Okay, Black Lagoon, yes. I love this thing. I was a huge simp for this lady whose name I forgot. Remy, I think. Yeah, that was a good one. Louis J says, would you want yourself a Revi, Mr. Kozman? Look, the question always is, these fictional women in these animes, would they want you? Everybody is a human being. Come on. These archetypes, Rei Ayanami, Revi, Jessica Rabbit, whatever, they're objects. If a person comes at you, approaching you by forming herself into an object, usually they want something out of you, or there will be payback in some form. I mean, I wouldn't be attracted to a girl who dresses like that character in that anime, because it's just stupid, and it's just like, it's near incel behavior. I would be, of course, aroused and attracted by somebody with lots of character, strong stuff. Yeah, but don't fall into that trap. Do not let your love for anime make you objectify women. And I'm not saying this in a feminist or like white knight or a malady kind of way. Look, it's just fiction. Maybe you should ask the woman in your life what kind of character they like. Kotobuki says, I love you. Yes. Okay, let's go on with the anime arc. Castle in the Sky, Laputa, a great Studio Ghibli animation. I love this. This thing is actually amazing. Incredible fucking shit. So it's, I think, a 2-season anime serial about Rakugo theater, which is like a kind of basically a more sophisticated version of what I am doing on this channel. Somebody sits and tells a story and enacts it with different changes in his accent. Fantastic stuff. You won't be bored watching this. I love it. Showa Genroku Rakugo Shinju. Okay. Then more. There's this thing called Erased, which I don't remember watching this, but obviously I did. Or somebody died and they go to the past. Okay, you can't forget this. I gave it 8 points, but yeah, not my favorite thing. I think I actually stopped midway. I don't know. So then there are the Evangelion rebuilds, which I love. They have saving graces, but they're not the original. And they have a lesson to teach me because I'm redoing all tomorrows in the same way this guy did Evangelion. All right, more. There's this thing called Fortune Favors Lady Nikuko. This is a really nice thing. This made me cry. It's about this kind of like silly aunt character adopting a girl and helping raise her. I really like this one. From Up on Poppy Hill is incredibly good. It's one of the lesser known Studio Ghibli animations, but it's all about a slice of life kind of thing in 1960s Japan, I think. Then there's more stuff. Are you following this or is it boring? Let's get some confirmation that people are following this. Okay, you are following it. Great. There's this thing, Ghost in the Shell, which is just like I don't see Ghost in the Shell or Akira or the Ghibli films as anime. I think they're animated movies. Then there are, of course, I'm a completist, so there's Ghost in the Shell 2, Innocence, and then there's this thing, Ghost in the Shell standalone complex, featuring the Tachikoma robots, which are these jumping spider-like thinking land warrior drones that also talk about the philosophy of life and death, which is really good. Yorgo Statopoulos says, Hia from Greece. Kalispera Filemu. Then we come to Atonement. Yes, I'm a huge and unabashed fan of Haikyuu, which is this volleyball themed anime. I can't understand anything about the sport, but the animation is wonderful. And I think it has got great lessons to teach about life. There's this one pivotal moment in one of these seasons. Haikyuu is about this cool ragtag gang of volleyball players. And at the end of the season, they have their final match against their hated opponents. And it seems almost like they're going to score a last second goal and they're going to win and it's going to be a good ending. But no, actually, they lose. And then their coach takes them out to a great big dinner. And they're all crying with like the pain of defeat and eating obsessively, stress eating at the same time. And that scene is animated really well, actually. All the food and the details and the characters' expressions. It's almost as great a work of animation as like the slams and the action sequences. But it's got a nice lesson to teach about life. And then that was that. I think some of the later seasons got a bit silly, but the animation quality dropped, so I stopped watching it. But the first 3 seasons, I think they're classic. Then you got Howl's Moving Castle, which is just really nice. It's actually not my favorite Ghibli film. Not my favorite Ghibli film. Because it turns out that, okay, there's a Howl character and he's super cool, and the way they have the old woman's perspective is, I think, commendable. But the ending and the resolution, they're a bit silly. It turns out the scarecrow was a prince, and like when they discover that, the war ends or something. Okay, let's more. Here's a disappointment. Japan Sinks 2020. Saw this on Netflix. Don't like it. Really, really don't like it. I think, it's anime tailor-made for American tastes. Not my favorite. Kiki's Delivery Service. Wonderful. I think this could be my favorite Ghibli film, or one of them. It's set in a city that kind of resembles Istanbul slightly. It's about a girl's first job and trying to get on with life. What I remember is the beautiful settings of the city and the world building. They're wonderful. And I really like this one bit where she just gets sick and has like a bad day, but that's just like integrated into the plot. Like perfect slice of life stuff. I really like that. And I remember Kiki had this like hot, artsy recluse friend. And I mean, if you're talking about animated characters that attract me, there's one. The city in Kiki's delivery service always reminded me of Istanbul too. So there's that. Then, oh, we got a classic. We got a classic Kite. Oh my God. I really like this one. It's about a semi futuristic setting where an abused girl takes justice to her own hands with a gun that shoots exploding bullets. And yes, it's all animated. Kotobuki says, oh my God. Yes. Yeah. Well, yeah, Kite was a really nice one. Darkly and weirdly gory too, but they don't overdo it. Okay, this is this is a really nice one. Lupin 3, Castle of Cagliostro. This guy is like, if you're talking about characters to model your life after, I think this guy is a good bet. Lupin the Third, an unflappable character. There's a scene in this movie where he's trying to jump from one spire of the castle to the other, but he has a cable gun, but he fires it and it misfires. So he's trapped. But no, he remembers this is an animation and he just jumps from the spire to the other end. And that's, I think, Miyazaki's way of telling that, this is all a dreamy animated art. And at least in this world, the anime world, you can do anything you want. But it also pays to have an attitude towards life. Because let me tell you, some harsh shit will confront you, but you always have to have the fighting spirit. This is peak, says Kotobuki, and 24 people are watching. Okay, let's go. More favorite animes. Oh, I love this thing. It's about there's a game called shogi, which is like Asian chess. This guy is a recluse a shogi player, and this family of three sisters who have lost their parents, they don't adopt him, but they befriend him, and he grows as a shogi player and like also grows as a human being. This is a very, very beautiful series. So I think I watched, yeah, 2 seasons of this thing. Never disappoints. I love it. There should be more people watching, says Louis J. Well, call them and I'll have some Coke. Like, also, I will go on record saying this. If you take a weeb, if you take like a One Punch Man weeb or like Naruto weeb or whatever, if you make them if you make them watch these animes, you will turn them into a proper human being. Because remember, I'm picking all of these for their human values. But anyways, they're my recommendations. So true, says Kotobuki. Thank you, and thank you, Louis J. 22 people watching on the CM Kozman Weeb anime arc. Okay, then there's this another, like, I dare not call this anime. It's an animated movie by Satoshi Kun. Great. film. Millennium Actress. Unbelievable stuff. I really like this thing. By Satoshi Kon, yes. The soundtrack is really uncanny here, and it really tackles like problems of celebrity in a great way. Then there's My Neighbor Totoro, which everybody knows. This is actually, everybody says, ah, Totoro, so cute, so kawaii. But if you watch this, it's actually quite heartbreaking and really hard to watch, because these two girls invent these fantasies and they see these Totoro creatures while their mother is in hospital with cancer, actually. So it's very dark. And then one of the sisters disappears. You're scared that maybe she died in a or drowned or something. And it's like it made me cry. And I heard that when this came out, it was in Japan. It was shown in theaters as a bundle with The Grave of the Fireflies, which is about the nuclear attack on Hiroshima. And like that, The Grave of Fireflies is so difficult to watch. It is so sad, like it destroys your heart. And then like watching Totoro and then watching The Grave of the Fireflies, it's like, god damn, your brain would be formatted with sadness and sorrow. Kadir Çıtak says, hello from Bağlarbaşı. Hello, my friend. We're talking about my favorite anime films. I'm going to take a bio break. So call everybody you know, and I'll be back. There's many more films in this list. We're not even halfway through. And these are my favorite anime films. And maybe by telling them, I can show you how to transmute weebdom into a proper human soul. Okay, I'll be right back. Call people. Let's get some more bodies in this room. Ow. You're properly moisturized now. Oh, you're still here. Kotobuki and Louis J are hitting it off. Okay, great. Always happy to connect people. And we're back at the CM Kozeman anime special, where your favorite surrealists talk about his favorite anime. And if you're in the replay gang, you know where to go. Merch store, buy me a coffee. Look, I spent all this time for you. I'm just taking time off of my life. And maybe you can go to buymeacoffee.com/CM Kozeman and buy daddy a cup of coffee. It's not much for you, makes a world of difference for me. Somebody's throwing hearts. Thank you. Let's check. Wait. Let's finish this, then I'll check some messages. And 22 people watching. Thank you all for your time. Okay, back to my favorite anime. My Neighbors the Yamadas. I love this thing. It's about family life and it's about a bumbling family who gets on with life. It's one of the lesser known Studio Ghibli creations. I think this was produced by Takahata, Isao Takahata, who was one of the big partners of Studio Ghibli. It was Isao Takahata, this guy, who always did the really nice, heartwarming, and thought-inducing slice of life stuff. And then, well, the other guy, I forgot his name, which is very stupid of me. Miyazaki focused on the fantastic and the surreal, and together they had a great synergy. But I think Isao Takahata died early, and it's just very sad. Then, of course, you have Nausicaa, Valley of the Wind. I can't say much about this other than it's incredible. The world building, when in the first act, the heroine is investigating the planet and there's all these bugs and alien things flying in the background. I know I was hooked. So there's there. All right, 21 people watching. Then obviously there's Neon Genesis Evangelion, which is, you can't say much more. It is what it is. It's a very nice trope bending take on the whole mecha genre. And I think the producer really puts geek culture into its place at the end. There's a short movie condensed from the original animated series that's called Death and Rebirth, so I watched that too. And then there's the end of Evangelion, which television, which is the Turkish for TV, says iyi yayınlar. Well, enjoy the breakfast, enjoy the broadcast. So my exposure to the end of Evangelion is very interesting. I was in my early 20s, and I think I was on break from studying overseas. I came over to Istanbul for a winter break for the broadcast. Yeah, not the breakfast. I came to, it was, imagine it's like 2004 or 2005 or something like that. And I came to Istanbul, and well, I was a single guy. I went to a part of town that had the weirdest underground clubs. And before the age of the internet, people would hang out and hook up there. And it's just a dim room with cigarette smoke and weird. There's a genre of music called Italo disco. Um, like a real sluts den, like that sort of thing. Like, and then it's like literally a room smaller than the one I am in at the moment, packed with people of either gender, and then some who are in between, and they're blasting this Italo disco soundtrack in the background. And here I am, a horny guy in my early 20s looking for action, and the walls are painted with this weird red burgundy color. It's a very weird club. And then the music is blasting, and of course they have also projections. So they project movies onto the walls to add atmosphere, because everybody's like dancing and smoking or popping pills or whatever. And then for people in Istanbul, this place was near another club in the early 2000s called Sawadi, Sawady, which was a whole other story to begin with. Who daddy? Don't let me get started there. Anyways, but you got out of the place that was called Sawadi and you went into the like den, like a promiscuity den that I just described. It's literally one room with music blasting and videos being projected on the walls. That night, I remember they were projecting the end of Evangelion, and I, of course, didn't know what that was, because back then the internet was not as comprehensive. You didn't have Google Lens or anything. Like, it's just this hot-looking purple-haired woman getting this boy through tunnels, and she gets shot at the end, and they kiss in the elevator. I was like, what? And like, that was more interesting than anything that went on in that hive of scum and villainy that night. And then years later, I said, oh, okay, that was the thing. It was, a formative experience for me. So yeah, there's the end of Evangelion. Television says, I think Evangelion is overrated. It's just a bit of psychology, nothing interesting. Yeah, I actually agree. I remember these really local non-entity people talking about, like, oh, brother, what's your favorite anime? Oh, One Punch Man or Chainsaw Man or some shit. And then an even more disgusting bear sketch of a human being gets called in, and he says, oh, you should watch Evangelion then. It's anime for thinking man. Oh, and then they all like nod and agree and get the fuck out of here. But it's nice. I think a world in which this thing exists is better than a world which doesn't have it. And I really like it. There's something really weird and seminal going on. You always find yourself going back to that universe. You want to hang out with those characters and like be part of that world. And it's actually also very rare for cartoon animation to reciprocate traumas and stuff. Yeah, but those Turkish neckbeards, they're, as a rule, reprehensible until proven otherwise. Yes. More. There's this thing, Ninja Scroll. God damn it. This thing really did a number on me. I love this thing. Ninja Scroll. Basically, it's a medieval samurai story with weird demons. You think it's a just mindless, swashbuckling, sexy adventure action flick, but it's actually a really well made, and it's like something Joe Carpenter would make, but it's a ninja anime with very strange demons. I can't recommend this enough. I can't recommend this enough. It's really dark and grim. Yeah, you have to be very high IQ to enjoy Rick and Morty. Exactly. Exactly. And I'm sorry to say, but in this channel, that sort of thing is my natural enemy, or rather, still my prey item. So there. Okay, Ninja Scroll. Really recommend this one. Oh, then there's this thing only yesterday. God, this is so nice. It's about a girl from the city going back to the countryside, getting back in touch with her childhood. The music is wonderful. And then I think this is another one of Isao Takahata. Yeah, yeah. Takahata-san, rest in peace. He wrote the screenplay, wrote the theme song, directed it. Look up this guy's work within Studio Ghibli. It's, dare I say, better than the fantastic stuff, which is still wonderful, but it's another story. Then there's Off, Perfect Blue. God damn. Louis J says, Mr. Kozman, I'm getting stoned right now. Do you look down on those who take drugs recreationally? No, it's your choice. All I'll say is obey local laws, because some of those drugs are not recreational everywhere. Perfect Blue, on the other hand, is a legal high, and then it's about a pop star slowly losing her mind to the weird semi-artificial world fame has created around her. And then there's some there are some hints that the secretly talentless director Darren Aronofsky, I need to look this up, but so there's this director called Darren Aronofsky. You probably know him from movies like Black Swan or Requiem for a Dream. These are films that, if you go to film school and you're on a date, maybe somebody would push them to you saying they're great, they changed their lives. You sit down and watch it, and you're only tolerating it for the BJ action afterwards. It's a very pretentious, upper middle class, college educated person's director. And then he actually stole a lot of scenes in his movies, Darren Aronofsky. You have Kotobuki says so mid, exactly. A lot of scenes in Aronofsky films are copied from Perfect Blue. Yet, Organic Wolf says with sarcasm, crazy that Satoshi Kon copied Black Swan. Yeah, oh, yeah. That whole segment of cultural appropriation. Darren Aronofsky, Black Swan, Requiem for a Dream. Gui. It's the world's smallest violin playing the national anthem of bullshit. Don't really like it. Everybody's sad, but in a way that's like, oh. Anyways, don't get me started. I got one rule on this channel. I got no axe to grind, but only my thoughts to burnish. But who daddy, sometimes I want to go there. But not night. Then you got, I think this might be the best Studio Ghibli animation, Pompoko. It's all about this gang of shape shifting raccoon tanuki creatures and their fight to stay alive in a rapidly developing city. It's just incredible. I mean, they have this. So these raccoon characters, they can morph their testicles into weird shapes and make magic, and they come together and join forces, and they create a brand of magic so strong that the entire city is duped into thinking a procession of demons is going through it, and it's just pure art and really good morals to go with it. Really recommend this. 10,000 out of 10. Supreme cultural artifact. And then you got Ponyo, which is one of the latter Studio Ghibli animations. I love this thing because it was basically Miyazaki flexing his muscles. Everything in Ponyo is traditional, or at least with some little digital aid, but it's just visually perfect, and the story is great too. Story is not Story is not the best that Studio Ghibli did, but it's okay. Porco Rosso, I love this one too. You don't need me explaining it again. It's about this pig who's a fighter pilot, and then a little girl helps him fix his engine and build a new aircraft. It's just dreamy world full of lived life details that Miyazaki excels in creating. Louis J is probably singing the Ponyo song. Ponyo, Ponyo, na na na na na na na na na na na na na na na na na na na. It's nice. And then you have Princess Mononoke. Na na na na na na na na na na na na. Like, if you want female characters to simp after, here's one for you. Lady Eboshi from Oof. Lady Eboshi from God damn, I'm having brain freeze. Sorry about that. Princess Mononoke, yes. So in this movie, there's a magical forest and there's a human civilization basically going humanity fuck yeah against the forest and the spirits of the forest. But in a traditionally Miyazaki-esque subversion of roles, humanity's faction is headed not by an Elon Musk wannabe, but by this really based woman who actually establishes a feminist industrial society, and she got her reasons, and she's very, very, very cunty in a good way and off. Why do we want to know about her round tummy, says Louis J. In reference to which character? I don't think I want to know. Oh, okay. There's some look. I mean, come on, guys or gals, come on. Let's have a bit more character. Who got Ponyo around tummy? Come on. I know you're better than this. Absent Fish says, Ponyo sent me down a multiple day research trip on ancient fish. Yes, there's one scene where something like coelacanths or Eustephanopheron type lungfishes are swimming in a prehistoric type scene, and I just love that. And they are real, yes. Look, Lady Eboshi, which you see here, would totally shoot you with a flintlock rifle if she saw what you were writing about Ponyo. Okay, let's keep going. This is incredible. This is another sequel to that earlier Rakugo traditional theater anime I talked about. But this is a more modern day version where a criminal out of jail goes to this theater and then he turns his life around. I like that. Then there's Spirited Away, which is universally known in this day and age. Nothing wrong with it, just perfect, fantastic immersion. Really love it. Oh, then you got this thing, SSSS Gridman. Yes. So this is slightly similar to Evangelion in the sense that there are some giant robots, but actually they are not robots. Mm-mm-mm-mm. These kids have to interface with some dreamy machine to create this gridman who will fight robots, created by this girl who's mentally unstable. And actually, there's something like Satan visually calling her from something like Zoom, and like he's acting like a sugar daddy to her, and together they create monsters. But turns out it's all psychological. One of the weirder animated series I watched. Jerry Caleb says, "Is that what Superhuman Samurai Squad was based on? I don't know." Everybody says seriously, like in reference to what? Because I say a lot of things and there's a delay. Are you talking about Akane and Gridman? Yeah, there's a demon character who calls Akane and says, "Oh, are you sad? Let me buy you some new toys," and stuff like that. But I forgot the name. I like this one. Okay, destroying my reputation one anime at a time. There's this thing which is called The Cat Returns. And then there are just cats, and there's an adventure in a weird world. Slightly mid, but okay, I like this. I watched it for completion's sake. Yeah, but that's a nice one. Then there's the Garden of Words. Oh, I remember this. This is like one of those which I forgot I watched, but now I remember. It's like a personal romance in a weird garden in Tokyo. Not the best thing there is, but there's nothing really wrong with it. I like that. Like you can file this next to you can file this next to where is it? You can file that next to Fortune Favors Lady Nikuko, which is like real life. It's almost like a Latin American telenovela, but I really like it. Then there's some of Mike Gigi says, first time catching your stream. Boy, I did not want to be caught like this. I did not like this just happened that I'm discussing my favorite anime, but well, I hope you stick around and listen. Krosh says, say something for your Turkish fans. Never lose hope. I think Turkey is, in the long run, a stable society compared to places around it. And the alternative to living in Turkey is not living in fucking Stockholm or Sweden, but it's living in any of the dozen or so failed states surrounding it. Ne mutlu Türk'üm diyene. Do not let topical news make you turn Kisling. When you're critiquing your country in front of others, remember whose purposes it serves. So there. İçli Paleontology, which sounds like a Turkish paleo channel, says, did you talk about paleontology in this podcast? No, unless you consider this anime list a paleontological deep dive into my subconscious. Khan says heart. Mike GG says, I'm here to stay. Okay. Krosh says, oh, say what you said about Turkey, but say it in Turkish. Okay. Let me collect my thoughts. Arkadaşlar, ülkemizde insanları şöyle bir hastalığı vardır. Ne kadar üst orta sınıf olurlarsa kendilerini o kadar karamsarlık, ufunetle ifade etmekten acayip zevk alırlar. Böyle olmanın gelebileceği en uç nokta işte görüyorsunuz. Bir takım böyle gazeteler, radyolar falan saçma sapan şeylerdir. Daima işlerinizi yaparken referansınız dünya olsun, ufkunun sınırları, Edirne'de biten modernlik algıları aslında bir kargo kalt olan riyakar gerizekalıların dünyasından kendinizi sıyırın. Gerekirse onların dillerini bile konuşmamak pahasına. Ve şöyle bir şey vardır Türkiye'de. Çizerek gösteriyorum. Böyle en alt sınıfın hor görülen yargıları aslında hayata dair çok güzel dersler içerir. Beyaz yaka ve memuriyeti geçince ortaya çıkan insan profili bir aldatmacadır. Onların dünyasına girerseniz ömrünüz boyunca o dünyada kalırsınız. Ve aslında bunların yok edilmesi gerekir. Ama that's all I'll say on the subject. Khan says, I agree with you wholeheartedly. Well, I just gave a spiel about the upper middle class problem infecting Turkey and many other places like it. Okay. Okay, let's go back to anime, huh? Okay. All right. Krosh says, are you coming over to the Trabzon Academy of Sciences? No, I have no aim or plans to make an appearance anywhere in Turkey. I could have done more. Well, here let's forget about anime for 1 second. I'll give you a parable, okay? This actually happened recently. The more you engage with parochial Turkish culture, the more you expose yourself to people with acute psychological damage. And these people are more common in the educated classes. Why waste your time with that? I had a friend, I'm not going to give his names, but he's a graffiti tag artist, okay? His tag is like shaped like somewhat like a star, okay? Recently, there was a murder, a really awful murder by this teenage psychopath. And he wrote some words in a wall near the murder site. One of those words was coincidentally the same as this friend's tag name. I'm not even going to tell you the name. And then this turned into a lynch mob in that guy's town. So now they think this graffiti tag artist is a member of this satanistic gang who's out there, and people are talking about it on local Facebook groups. Find this terrorist and apprehend him. His life is fucked. That's what you get for engaging. Turn your heart and mind to the real world. In doing so, don't forget the beauty and wonder of your homeland, but become a universal person. That's very rare. It applies strongly in Turkey, but if you're from a non-Western country, I think you'll understand what I mean. Okay, turning back into anime now. Yani çok doluyum ha, konuşturtmayın. Okay, then there's this incredible anime called The Great Passage. I really love this one. It's all about this introverted guy's attempt to create a really big dictionary in Japan. And I think it lasts 2 seasons. And it's a hidden gem. You will love it. Watch it end to end. It's as good as any Studio Ghibli. It's as good as any Studio Ghibli film. Guy makes a dictionary and it shows you how to tackle problems in life. And there's one episode where they just choose the paper for the dictionary and he accepts his new position and grows into it. He becomes a older guy. I love this one. Secret World of Variety, not my favorite Ghibli thing. There's some small people and they have some small people adventures in a small people place and okay. This one is actually really nice. It's an epic, old Japanese epic rendered in classical animation. It's again by Studio Ghibli, but it stands apart in Studio Ghibli's selection. And once again, Master Takahato is here. Really respect this guy. And I look forward to the day when somebody can do an animation about Turkish legends this way, or Islamic legends, or Anatolian folk tales. One can dream. Then there's this one, which is amazing. I'm a big fan of aviation. So this is about the guy who designed the Japanese Zero fighter. The Wind Rises. And wonderful film. Wonderful film. Mm-hmm. Then there's this thing, Vampire Hunter D. Oof, this is like an ultimate cyberpunk weirdness. I love this thing.
の名は D。光と闇の狭間をさすらう孤独な悪に支配されていた。愛が血に染まり、希望が絶望に閉ざされた世界。
Strange weirdness.
吸血鬼の牙にかかった少女ドリスを救うことができるか。
It is so pervasively weird that you find yourself immersed in this universe. So there's that. Oh, I shut off my thing. Sorry, just getting back there. Okay, can you confirm you're seeing this now? Let's confirm and then I'll keep on going. Can you see? Yeah. Okay, great. Okay, going on with my favorite anime tonight. There's this thing, Weathering with You. This girl can apparently control weather. It's a really beautifully animated film. It's very recent, I think 2019 or 18. It was really beautifully made, but thinking back about it, it looks a bit better than it feels, and I don't think I would want to watch this again. Unlike this one, when Marnie was there, it's a kind of platonic romance friendship story between this young girl and another young girl who's probably a ghost. Another one of the lesser known Studio Ghibli films. Not 100% great, but certainly 90%. Then you got Whisper of the Heart. Oh, this is another cat film. Yeah, this girl falls in love with this smart cat and they go on this fantastic adventure together. Okay, great, but yeah, great, but not one of the best. This was by Miyazaki. The cat stuff from Studio Ghibli, it's not their best, but still really great. Oh! Then there's this thing, Wicked City. Off, off, off. You really need to watch this one. Wicked City, man. Wicked City. It's about this guy hunting vampires in a strange modern city, but there's a spider girl. I'm not going to ruin it for you. Just search for Spider Girl Wicked City. It's full of monsters. I like this in the same way I love Vampire Hunter D. Dream Girl. Yeah. You don't want to know what this girl does, but yeah. Off. Krosh says, are your streams regular or whenever you want? Whenever I want. I try to go regular, but it gets really depressing and YouTuber burnout is real. Uh, uh, uh, uh, uh, uh, uh. My family watched when Marnie was there and got really confused when it wasn't a romance. Yeah. That's them Studio Ghibli curveballs for you. Louis J says, what are your A? I got many A's and B's and C's and D's. I don't know. Gender Envy says, İçli Paleontology says, I am sorry. What are your spiritual beliefs? My brother in Christ, we're looking at anime now. I'll tell about this in another episode, okay? Then there's Wolf Children. Once again, a single mother struggling to raise kids who are semi werewolves. Not the best. Not horrible either, but not the best. Oh, then this one. God, I remember being infatuated about this. Ah, yeah, it's like a piano story. Really talented musician, and then his friends, and he's got a crush. And at the end, you realize she's dying of some disease, but he outdoes himself. And I watched this looking for something that could give the same kick I got from that chess or shogi anime or something like Haikyuu, but yeah, it wasn't really great. And then there's Your Name, which is all about this country girl and the city boy swapping places mystically. And then it's by the same studio who did Weathering with You, visually perfect. I think thematically much better than Weathering with You, but you could only go so far with you could only so far you could only go so far with that whole magic story. Mid story, amazing visuals. Yes, thanks for summarizing it for me, Kotobuki. İçli Paleontology says, will there be Turkish translation of the book All Yesterdays? No. If you look up my name, I do have some books in the Turkish language, but beyond them I have no plans. Because burası bir ihracat kapısıdır. I'm working for the bigger world. Why work for 10 Turkish people who already know English, where you can actually properly communicate with the rest of the world and get in touch with hundreds and thousands of people from all over the world? Do not be so parochial. And then there's this absolutely garbage Tales from Earthsea, which was directed by Miyazaki's son, Goro Miyazaki. And then there's a famous video about this where Goro Miyazaki is the son of Hayao Miyazaki, and he makes this absolutely bullshit, really unwatchable anime. And then Hayao Miyazaki goes in to watch it and then storms out middle of it saying this kid doesn't know narrative, and it's like the best sort of father burn you can imagine. So yeah. Anyways, everybody, it's been an hour and a half. Absentfish says, can I get a recommendation for anime with cool sea creatures? None comes to mind. Kotobuki says, Children of the Sea. Yeah. Louis J says, let this sweet swan song never end. Okay, I'm going to watch Children of the Sea, whatever that is. I did a burp. Any last questions or parting words? I hope you enjoyed seeing my anime list. Oh, wait. Actually, I have some more. I also have a page on this site about the manga I read. So let me show that too. Let me show you my manga recommendations, and then we'll call it a proper good night. And there's not much here. I'm not a mangaka at all. There's the original Neon Genesis Evangelion manga, which I bought because I like the original series. And then the way they use screen tones there is incredible, and I really love it. Then there's Tony Takezaki's Neon Genesis Evangelion, which is a semi-erotic comedy adaptation. And I just bought it because I wanted to see more of Misato. And that's that. It's not worth the money. And then there's this thing which is called Barefoot Gen, and it's all about the atomic bombing of Japan. And it's a really nice critique of nationalism. So strongly recommended. Oh, you're getting the black screen. I'm sorry. Now you can see it. Please confirm. Yeah. So this is like the only manga I can recommend. I don't know if it counts, but I'm also a big fan of Toshio Saeki's work. That's Toshio Saeki, Saeki. But you just have to see that for yourself. Okay, any last questions or closing comments? 24 of you have struck with me tonight, throughout the night, watching my anime recommendations. I hope you like that. The original page is on Well, go to my anime list and search for CM Kozuman. You'll find it. Cole says, I Jusser. Okay. Razm says, have you checked out any Junji Ito horror manga? I'm sorry to say, I find Junji Ito stuff a bit mid. And my suspicions were confirmed when I read an interview saying he likes the Beatles, which is as sure a mark of a mediocre man as the mark of Cain is the sign of a murderer. System Anomaly says, can I ask about all tomorrow's fan art? Ask now. Ask now, or forever stay silent. Let's end with a nice screenshot of Lady Eboshi. Hop. Yes, yes, yes. Ha, properly done. My kind of girl. What can I say? Have you ever seen Opichus Animations, All Tomorrow's Animated? Yeah, I love that. I love it. That guy, I hope he's doing all right. It's incredibly well. Cole says this is English only. Okay. I'm just fucking with you. Jay says, I really love your comprehensive nature videos. I am going to make more about them. I'm actually going to put this channel into like a full overhaul. Full overhaul. Shall we do it right here? Want to do this right here, right now? So I had a lot of scattered stuff. Hopefully scattered, but now I'm working on something big and it's really keeping me busy. But as soon as that is over, I'm going to have a YouTube U-haul. And basically it's going to be, I'm going to redesign introduction cards, title cards. So it's going to be so it's going to be like this. Scheming. So it's going to be like properly buried, properly divided into travel videos, short talk videos, big documentary like animal research or cryptozoology videos, and then live streams. And these are going to be the only 4 types of offerings I'm going to have. And that's going to be that. But the production values are going to be hyped up. I might even be back with a very well lit new kind of studio. We'll see how that goes. But thanks for being here. And if you're on the replay watch, please consider supporting me on. Look, all of you, 24 of you, come on, at least have one of you donate to me on Buy Me a Coffee. Pretty please. CM Cosman Rebirth. Yeah, I'm going to have a channel new introduction video, a new title video, maybe some like fancy ass rock video type introduction thing. It would be wonderful to have my online friend Prometheum do some introductions, but she's got her own stuff to handle at the moment. I'm going to get one more bio break, and then let's have some last minute questions or comments. I will not support your disgusting coffee habit. Well, you're already on Patreon, so thank you. Kotobuki says, I need to get rich so I can buy. Ah, come on. Thank you. Even a dollar a month matters. Or if you can't do that, just subscribe and click the bell icon and tell about me to your friends. That actually brings more people in line. Cole says, good night. I'm still sticking around a bit more. Just going to have some refill. And then I'm going to empty my bladder. I'll be back. Let's have the screen. Bam! You're smooth brain now. I'll be back. Kotobuki says, Daddy Cosman providing nourishment to the tadpoles. Louis J says, do some ASMR to help us sleep. Blake Richardson says, thank you for the moisturizing. Keep hydrated. Ichli Paleontology says, what do you think about Turkey's paleo community? I think there are many people, and there will be many more as younger generations learn more about paleo stuff from the internet. I know a guy named Kojira Paleo who runs one of Turkey's most popular paleo channels, and he's a very hardworking, smart, and like sharp-witted guy. I like him. If he's watching, hello. I don't know. I hope like, all I'll say is I hope it inspires people to study paleontology and become geologists and paleontologists of their own. And I think any decade now we will discover fossils of a non-avian dinosaur within Turkey, probably on one of the islands that rested on the seafloor, which makes up most of the Anatolian plate. Your Funny Valentine says, I enjoy your work and streams for years, still not so. Come on, ring the little bell. Systems Anomaly says, just bought your coffee. Thank you. Thank you so much. really happy. And because Systems Anomaly bought this coffee, I get to show you a sneak preview creature from Snyad, which is also in development. So it started out as a sketch like this, a creature with claws morphed into something like a shield and a sword. I took this little sketch, which I made on a bus, and enlarged it into this thing, which is this thing. And like one of the claws is flat and spiraling like a shield. This is what it looks like from the front. And the other claw is like a spike, so they kind of duel with each other like. So that's what System Anomaly is the nation got, all of you. Just think about it. Nikolai says, what do you think about popular media portrayal of sci-fi? Anything you would like to change? I don't know, sci-fi is becoming more popular. There's this sort of like wondrous eyed, dreamy eyed kind of like everybody's too serious for school. Stuff like Annihilation, the three body problem, but those are nice too. But they're all putting on airs. I mean, my frame of reference is classic 80s sci-fi movies like Blade Runner, Aliens, the original Alien. And these movies somehow did not have that airs. In contemporary sci-fi, I'm not saying this as a bad critique, but it is just what it is. Like in something like the three body problem, for example, the story is really great, but everybody acts in a kind of sci-fi-y way, you know? Whereas those old classic films, characters in them feel more real. Dan McAleer says hello. Kotobuki says, did you see the Tsuchinsan Atlas comet in your area? No, I haven't. 19 people watching. It's midnight. Okay, we're just going to have a short sip. Any last questions? Sneak them in if you can. Hello to Dan McAleer. I'm just so sleepy. I spent like 5 hours. Okay, there's a good one. Ferial. Abi, what do you think about US elections in general? I'm glad I don't have to vote in them, is all I'll say. I'm not a big fan of Trump. But the other side is just transparently lying warmongers. It's just a travesty. Look, the whole switcheroo they did with, oh, suddenly it's Kamala Harris running. Okay, but it's unprecedented. Like, it's going to be the vice president running, blah, blah, blah. I mean, you probably know and understand that these people, like politicians in many other countries, and it's not a conspiracy, they are working for interest groups. Now, whether those interest groups have a better plan for Americans than some egomaniac like Donald Trump, I don't know. But I think even with all his misgivings, maybe the other side will do less damage. Who knows? Because look what's happening to small towns, cost of living, inflation. It's really disgusting. Krosh says, can you give me recommendations because I am trying to improve my English as a 15-year-old Turkish boy. I have a B1, B2 level now. Two recommendations. One, don't concern yourself with levels or grades. Just concern yourself with expressing yourself. Then, number two, do not care about your accent. I know people in Turkey who hire accent coaches. So they say like Harry proper English, a fucking wanka or twat face. But you talk to them, they don't have a single thought in their heads. And when I meet people like that, I like to imagine them being tortured. Okay, but another trick is to wait. Always read. Read. As long as you read, you advance. And like my reading list in my bag, I have two books. One is called the Book of Paul Anderson, which is a great sci-fi collection. Okay. And then I'm reading this thing about a political party in 1990s Turkey, about the Refah Party. So just read, clear your thoughts, and then the language will come. Do you sometimes think in English or exclusively Turkish? This might sound pretentious, but my thoughts come to my head exactly in the way I speak, which is this arcane English. No, Memo says that was savage. Look, okay, so sorry. I don't imagine torture for anybody, okay? But they're so fucking annoying. That was savage. Literally, they pay like $100 per hour. Per hour. These people are like corporate middle managers or higher C-suite managers. $100 per hour. They learn the orange, Harry Potter, fucking twat faces. They usually want to take a British accent because they think it makes them more sophisticated. But really, they can't form a single original thought. They're so cut off from reality. Out of why accent, all accents, why British? Yeah, that's the weird thing. It's because of Istanbul's proximity to London, and I think in these people's fucked up worldview, like I kid you not, literally Harry Potter, the film itself, may have had a role in this because they want to sound more sophisticated. You know, they want to sound like Sargon of Akkad. Have you read John Locke? Like, so yeah. I live in the UK, so that impression horrifying. Yeah, probably my accent. It's a very unique accent. Took a lifetime to develop. But that's the thing. Don't care about your accent. Care about what you have to say when you're speaking. Don't go oh, like so. There's also this thing when you're talking, which is not about any language skills at all. And if I had a penny every time I told this to people, look, what are you gonna tell? Okay. Imagine, say, I want to moisturize you. You take this, you squirt. That's I want to moisturize you. Boom, that's your thought. Being that direct is actually a skill because you have to prune out a lot of voices in your head before it comes out of your mouth. When you're talking about something like this, you might start saying, I found a medicine bottle, but there's no medicine in it. It's actually just water, but I actually use it to moisten paper while painting. But now it's funny because I squirt it on the webcam and it's like, no. You say, hey, you fuckers, are you dry? Get wet. Be direct. Be straightforward. Don't beat about the bush. And that's very hard to do, actually. Very hard to do. There's some British versus American conflict. British accent is kind of weird. Water butler. I don't know. Do you have any information about the Tonya geological formation, says İçli Paleontology? Unfortunately, I don't. Let's look it up. It's in the Hacı Mehmet region in Trabzon, which is northern Turkey. Pelagic marls and calciclastic turbitites containing fragments of echinoderms, bivalves, birozoans. So it's like a reef that got crushed there. Well, I did not know this. Thanks for letting me know. Read a lot of books. If you want to learn English, just read. Just read. It gets to you. Read books that you enjoy, and it gets to you. I got this nice stamp. Shows me when I started reading it, when I finished reading it. So there. Oh, you still got in extra time now. This is after hours. You still got extra time until I finish my tea. English is forever the best language. We shall dominate forever. True. I agree, actually. My dream for the world's future is for there to be more people like me in their local countries, forming a sort of international class of eccentrics who can talk among themselves, but then can also turn within their communities to empower them too. I mean, it's going to happen somehow, but I don't know. Mm-mm-mm. Any random advice you have on communicating with people without feeling like an alien? If somebody is listening to you, or if you're speaking to them, you already have the initiative. Don't worry. Don't second guess yourself. But also, it pays to understand who you're talking to. And I use this technique a lot when I'm selling art or when I'm in my art studio and someone comes up. Imagine like a 50-year-old lady with like rich jewelry comes up and says, "What are you inspired by?" And what are you going to tell this person? In my case, what am I going to say? Oh, I'm into speculative evolution, which is like these animals, but if they evolve, this lady won't know that. Instead, try to say something like, I'm inspired by the diversity we see in nature. And then if somebody young and with tattoos comes up, and then you can tell them probably, yeah, I'm inspired by evolution. You kind of like need to get a read on who you're talking to, and don't change your stance or statement, but speak in a way they can understand. And as I told before, in order to do that, you need to prune out certain things because people only grasp the world through half truths. And there's that. Dan McAleer says, thoughts on the Israel-Lebanon conflict? Boy, I'm not going to touch on that with a 10-yard stick. I'll just leave it there. I myself have a Sephardic background. Israel is committing ethnic cleansing. it's going to put world Jewry into a place from which there's no escape. They're going to be typecast as the bad guys. You already see this happening in Twitter everywhere. And they're asking for it. Can you take on the world? It's going to reduce Jewish people to living in secrecy. They're going to have to change their religions or assume different ethnicities like my old ancestors did back in the day. You take people who have been dispersed all around the world, collect them all in one country, and scare them into committing ethnic cleansing. Like, even if you look at it from a pragmatic or like pro-Jewish perspective, it's a bigger vulnerability. You got half or maybe three quarters of world's Jewish people living in a place that can be annihilated by a single nuclear weapon. You can win this war, next wars. It's going to last hundreds of years. Possibility of something big happening then is non-zero. And your generations are growing weak. What are you going to do? This is so irresponsible. Yeah, I mean, thank you. Kotobuki says, I love how openly you discuss topics like these on live streams, no matter what they are and how heavy. Yeah, I mean, there's also something else which is very pornographic and I'm really disgusted by. And it's not pornographic in the porn sense, but it's like when there's a war or like Israel goes into Lebanon or there's a massacre in Gaza, and then you got these like career YouTubers like love them or hate them, like Destiny, Hasanabi, Board M Panda, those people. They wake up, there's an atrocity. They literally at one point of the day take a selfie and it goes into a video title saying Israel goes into Lebanon, this changes everything. And in the corner there's a oh! There's their face doing the monkey expression. So this is like reprehensible. When stuff like this is taking place, it's happening because there's no resolution. Maybe sometimes it's more ethical to shut the fuck up. I exonerate Hasan Abi because he's a fellow Turkish brother, but still, like, people like Destiny, like using, like, people are dying in this very second, and you're using that as fuel for your debate shit. All I'll say about Destiny, you know how that guy, he talks about shit. There's always this shotgun in the background. You know the saying that when a movie director shows a weapon in his film, at some point that weapon's gonna go off, and I hope he uses it on himself. Okay, I'm spitting facts tonight. Okay, he's getting to the better of getting to my head. You can't say that, Professor. I don't hope, but if it happens, I won't be surprised. Let's retract and redact my comment. What's that guy's life? Imagine. Like, each day I wake up, I see many horrible things, and I'm like, you know what? It could be worse. It could be them. I'm not. Something to think about. Instead of millions, I have you. Ichli Paleontology says, your hypotheses are incredible. How do you think about them? They're very creative, and thank you. I mean, there's an issue. I try to look at it from each angle. Like you can, how many ways can you rotate this? Sideways, back to front, but there's also another way. Yo, hop, roll. Yeah. Do the same thing, but with ideas. Jerry Caleb says America's Israel policy is based only on our self interest. It is just what it is. I agree. Actually, there's this sentiment saying that Israel is using the American Senate. No, it's clear to see the US is using Israel as its warhammer. And it's some tool they can easily disengage with if it goes too nasty. Okay. CM Cosman channel, 2 hours, getting a bit spicy. I'm going to call it a night. Let's have everybody's closing statements. Good night, everybody, and I love you so much. Can you sing Pan Tropico by Bini, says Mondo Andergon. I don't know that song. Is it this one? Kotobuki says, thank you for everything you do. Thank you. Louis J says, I love the God that specially designed you. I don't know. Mondo Endagon says, popcorn. I don't know. I don't know that song. Sorry. Well, Nikolai says, I hope everyone has had a good week. Thank you for the stream. My pleasure, my friend. It's been a great night. You're getting sprayed. You're getting sprayed. You're getting boom. Get moisturized.